This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission 250.
All right, I want to hear you. I want to hear the witnessing. Witness me! Witness me! Witness me! Come on, guys, you got a witness.
I got a witness.
Mediocre.
Is that one of the things that the war dogs or what the war boys were screaming?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. See.
Nothing. All right,
I feel super prepared now.
Good. Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching every movie on the top 250 movies of all time list, according to IMDb. You can go to our website at mission250filmcast.com, where we have our list frozen, and all of our previous episodes are there as well. I am one of your hosts, Denny, and joining me are
John,
TC.
And this week, we have a very special guest, Tim. Say hello, Tim.
Not the
Hey,
Tim
what's up?
Buckles, but the other Tim.
Oh, right.
Not Timmy Kneebuckles, that's right.
Not Timmy, but Tim.
My last initial is B, however, so
Oh, maybe it is.
Ooh,
Timmy
he's the
Buckles.
doppelganger of the Buckles.
Yeah.
might have to change my business card.
So, John, would you want to run down and describe what we do here each week on this podcast?
Sure. We've frozen the top 250 movies as rated by the users of IMDb of all time based on their user score. And we've been going over those movies in reverse order for, I don't know, the past year and a half or so. So every week we watch a movie, then we all get together and we each kind of comment on it and kind of do like background trivia and stuff. Try to interleave that along the way. And then we kind of do some wrap up with Denny in terms of anything we missed, because usually Denny's the one that does a little bit of extra work watching commentary and whatnot.
But this week, Tim did that too.
Ah.
You're getting good at that, John. Yeah, and this week...
You're a lot better than I am at that. I think John should default from now on.
No way. Yours are good too.
No, if I keep having to do it, I'll keep coming up with lame jokes, so you ask me not to do it.
Exactly. You got to
copy.
prevent
So we
that
keep it
crap.
even. I'll fuck it up enough where like you can come
That's
in and
fine.
just look good. Okay,
Besides,
cool.
when you do it, TC, you always say really nice things about me and Denny, so it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It's like I do well right up until I get it to me, and then I'm like, I don't know.
What am I doing here?
I think I'm funny, but I might not be. I don't know.
Who let me in?
So this week, we are watching number 184, which is the 2015 movie Mad Max Fury Road, directed by George Miller. A woman rebels against a tyrannical ruler in post-apocalyptic Australia in search for her homeland, with the help of a group of female prisoners, a psychotic worshipper, and a drifter named Max. Tim, since you
Yes,
are the
sir.
guest, would you like to start a review? Would you like to first tell us how you prepared in your very special way for this episode?
So I did a very, very last minute cram session in typical college style. It was like my final. So last night I decided I would watch the first Mad Max. I hadn't seen any other one except for Fury Road. I've seen that like 3 or 4 times. So
Nice.
last night I watched the first Mad Max. And then today I watched Road Warrior, Beyond Thunderdome, and the black and chrome version of Fury Road.
Nice.
Oh, you watched that.
So
That's black and white, right?
Yeah.
Or is it literally black and chrome? I don't know. It's like all the whites are shiny.
So shiny, so chrome.
To a degree, I think, yeah. But mainly black and white.
Okay.
But it was cool to see that one because I'd heard a lot about it over the years since that came out and didn't have the chance to watch it. So
Yeah, didn't Miller say like he thinks that's his preferred version or something?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. There was one version they were going to do with only like music, I think, right? No
dialogue at all?
talking. Yeah.
Oh, that
or
would've
as
been crazy.
as if it was a silent film.
yeah, I had heard or read that he originally wanted to do it black and white, and then the studio or someone was like, "Don't do that."
What are you, crazy? We want to make money.
Yeah.
No. Well, they did. There's such beautiful use of colors in the original, though. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the black and white's pretty cool too, but there's some neat stuff they do with colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I was thinking about it in terms if they had released the black and white version first and then a color version, how much
It
of
would
an
have blown
intense
your
change
mind,
that would,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if people would have complained like when they shoot off those flares and stuff and they're like
I
neon
would've.
colors or something.
I would have been bitching.
Yeah.
Be like, what's up with this black and white?
Yeah.
So Tim, you've seen both. I watched the black and chrome for this too. What would you? Which one did you
Guys are
prefer?
hardcore.
Would you say?
Originally, I wanted to watch the black and chrome and the regular edition in preparation for this, but that got bumped by 3 other Mad Max movies. So
Wow. Jesus.
yeah,
So
it
you
would
have
have been.
Mad Max, and then you have the Road. No, is it the Road Warrior, then Mad Max, and then Beyond Thunderdome?
It's Mad Max, then Road Warrior,
Mad Max, then
then
Road Warrior.
Thunderdome. Yeah.
Okay.
I really hope so because that's the order in which I watched it. To be fair, the world got progressively worse, so I think I must have watched them in the correct
That
order.
was the right order.
Or
Yeah.
cooler, if you like Tina Turner oil pit stuff.
Yeah, that just threw me. Like I had only seen bits of Beyond Thunderdome on TV when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing what the hell I was watching. But now sitting down and watching it today, I was like, "What the hell is Tina Turner doing in this movie?" Not that she was bad, but it's like I meant to look up like how that came together.
Oh, yeah.
Called her and
That's
was
like,
like,
isn't that her only? She hasn't. It's not like she was acting in anything. Like this is the only time she's done something like that, right? So it's like it. Yeah.
I
yeah,
have no
nothing
idea.
else I can think of. Yeah, does she have an IMDb page?
I have no
Probably
idea what you
does.
guys are even talking about.
Tina Turner, the Diamond Lady, was in the third Mad Max original movie.
We're talking about every other Mad Max except the one
Except
we're
the
supposed to
one
be talking
that,
Right,
about.
that I
We'll
watched.
get to it.
Got it.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of which version I like, I guess I'm just more used to the standard version, but I did like the black and chrome version. The very limited scenes where they did use CGI, I think gave it more of like a Sin City type of vibe.
Yeah, that's good.
Like,
That's a good call.
The night scene where they're, where the war rig gets like stuck and they're winching it to
Yeah,
the tree. And
yeah, it's a
It's
tree.
all blue in the original. So
I like when it
Yeah.
goes blue, man. It was a pretty nice change
Oh,
of
so
pace from the
pretty.
orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. My eyes needed
that
it.
scene in particular,
Yeah.
it very much reminded me of that Sin City type of production during that night scene. But
well, the movie. I mean, there's a lot of things about the movie. It does have a comic book feel to it. And again, the writer, what's his name? The screenplay also. That's what he is known for. Is comic book writing, Judge Dredd and the like. So it does. Your SimCity comparison makes a lot of sense in terms of how that might come off then when it's in black and white or chrome rather.
yeah, and there was even stuff I read that he didn't even write the movie so much as just storyboarded it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he basically wrote a storyboard and then
3,500 pages of storyboards.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Big time storyboarder.
We're out of whiteboards.
some poor bastard had to draw all that. But
Yeah.
Nice.
I get paid pretty well to do it. So no poor
Yeah.
bastards there.
Yeah.
some rich bastard got paid.
Yeah,
to do it.
there you
Draw
go.
that.
Some rich,
Um,
very inspired, very creative person got
Yeah.
paid.
Someone
Yeah.
that's a lot cooler than I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose the black and white gives it a little more focus on the story as well.
Yeah, I did notice watching the black and white that there was some overdubbed dialogue parts that I completely missed. And I just saw it like 3 times before watching this one. But I was like, is that in the original one? Because I didn't remember this at all. But it's weird how it changes the focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nothing else. Like, there's no technical difference in the movie, right? I mean, other than the colors. Like,
Right.
they didn't change any scenes, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because since I hadn't seen it, even the standard edition in a while, I was kind of like, I'm pretty sure all this stuff was always in the movie.
But I'm not positive. Crap.
Yeah, I actually technically would have had time to watch the color version too, but I was all maxed out.
I see what you did
come
there.
on.
Wow.
Thank you. This has been great. Have a good night.
You
everybody.
have
You're
one
right
piece of
down.
paper in front of you, and it's that joke written down, underlined 10 times.
Yeah, actually, it is written at the bottom of my page. So,
Slip it in at the opportune time.
yeah, I figured I'd just get it out of the way. And
So to include everybody else here now, what did you think about this movie in general?
Hmm?
Tim.
You're asking us?
Tim.
Or
Oh, well, no, let's go with Tim. So I don't, misleading question there, Denny.
Sorry.
Yeah, very.
TC, I bet he's just staring at his computer screen like, what the hell are we talking about? But now let's get to things that TC can relate to.
I see.
Ah.
That's what your point was.
Yeah.
All right.
So Tim, what did you think overall, this movie, color, black and white aside, what did you think?
I like it. It was the first Mad Max movie I'd ever seen, and I don't think you needed to see the other ones to get it.
Yeah.
So it was cool, just a standalone movie. I liked it.
Liked it. TC, you've never seen this movie before.
Actually, I realized I had.
I
I saw it in the theaters.
what'd you think?
Oh, nice.
I mean, the only thing I like about this movie is the production. I'm just going to go out and say it. So,
Oh,
Really?
downer.
yeah. Production's amazing.
What are you,
Sounds
crazy?
fucking fantastic.
TC, you're crazy. You're crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're saying by production, are you including the visuals and the action too?
Yeah,
or no?
yeah.
Okay.
All like everything besides like the story, because I couldn't care less about the story. It's also not one of the things I like. You know, it's pretty fantastical. This thing. You
Oh, it
guys
is.
know me
You're-
pretty well. It's not like these fake worlds that they make. I'm not a huge fan of. But
Yeah.
very respect. I mean, I'm just in shock, and it's a combination of shock and awe. It's called shock. No, I was in awe of it, to be honest. I mean, I can't imagine the budgets for the VFX stuff, and the color was fantastic. The sound was just like you said, Denny. Listen to it as loud as you can, and boy,
Oh, yeah.
did I.
So good.
I had my system all tuned, and I tuned it all up for it because I remember in the theaters I didn't like the sound, but I was all the way in the back right. So I had like
the
one
worst seat ever.
set of like one set of speakers just blowing my fucking head off, and then
Right.
like not being in the center. So the dialogue's really low in this movie, which is great because it allows the dynamics for the like the booms, the sub stuff to just come through even larger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't like get lost in the story. I mean, the love story was kind of nice between the weird looking dude and the cute
Yeah.
redhead.
Okay, Nux.
Yeah.
Wow,
but yeah,
you
I
like
mean, other
that
than
part?
but that's the only real part that was there, right? Like,
That's the
it's like
only part in
these,
this movie that I don't love.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I had actually forgotten how close they got in the movie.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know.
That's
I mean,
really funny, TC. We are complete opposites.
Yeah. I could. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd watch this one again on purpose, but yeah, that's just
Wow.
me. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm going to go
Brutal.
next, John.
Yeah. Oh, well then, you go right ahead there.
I think this is one of the best movies ever made, man. This is the
Oh,
best
God, no.
freaking
Not
action
even-
movie
no way.
ever made.
Okay, all right. When you clarify it as action movie, then yes.
No, I think that counts
said-
as other movies
you
too.
said-
This movie is
No bullshit.
yes.
No way.
This might just be
It's
my
like- it's-
type cup of tea, but like
It's fucking apples and oranges to other movies.
I'd watch this movie
right?
again right now. I'd watch it again
Well, I'm glad.
right now.
That's awesome.
I don't know. You don't think like the pacing is the most intense
No,
action movie pacing?
I absolutely respect the production of it. Everything that has to do with production, but the storyline of like just I don't know, like the emotional side of it was retarded.
I don't know, but like the way it told the story without very much dialogue at all, and like the whole
Right.
world building stuff
But
they do with very little
fantastical-
dialogue.
Right, but I think what TC, it'll be really, it's going to be lots of fun when we get to like Star Wars and whatnot, TC, because, but I think the fantastical stuff, you just don't buy into it, right?
Yeah,
And so you're
yeah.
just sort
I
of
just
like,
have a hard time getting into it, and it just never works for me. I don't know what it is.
But I don't think it's that fantastical. I mean, this is a
It's
lot
an
of this-
epic
well-
world that doesn't exist. Okay, that's
but it
pretty
could exist.
fantastic.
no, it really has that comic book feel though. It's not designed to be realistic. Like you got Guy from Straps playing guitar
while
drums
they
are-
speed across the desert,
which is
and like
awesome
guys.
if you just go with it.
But I mean, I didn't dislike it. I just didn't
Yeah.
I didn't lose myself in it at all. I mean, I was very much just paying attention to the sound the whole time and the visuals of like, wow, that was a great CGI. I barely saw it. I kind of saw it, but didn't really see it until I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. That's where my head was the whole movie. It wasn't like just shutting up inside and watching like I should have been.
Well, maybe that's part of what like made it so you couldn't go in the story. You just were constantly like being beaten over the head with how cool the sound and the visuals were.
Yeah.
So everything
true.
else kind of pales to that. It's
Yeah.
not like you're going to be like, oh, look at them, they like each other.
Yeah. They're adorable.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, I'm not like annoyed I watched it like I will be when we watch Star Wars.
Yeah,
Probably.
maybe.
It's not, you're not going to see this kind of finesse in terms of, I mean, you're going to see other kinds of brilliance for its time, but I think the just extended action sequences and they had circus performances. It almost felt that way. It's like you're watching a circus act that just keeps getting more and more like crazy.
It's pretty
Yeah.
gnarly. Some of those chase scenes with the cars and the blowing
Yeah.
up, and it was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So good. Like, fuck Ben-Hur. This movie is also the same kind of thing where it's like, these people might
Ben-Hur.
die. Like, there's no way
Yeah,
that
yeah.
these people weren't in danger filming the stunts in this movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, I hope you have some information
I do.
with me on that. I'm sure you
All
do.
right.
All right, what does John think?
What do you think, John?
Well, are you done?
Yeah,
Me?
yeah, I'm done.
Best movie ever
Or,
made. Fuck you.
done.
Go, John.
Any done?
Wow. Let's see. I really like this movie. Again, I sort of, I don't know, his best movie ever made. I really like the style of it a lot. I think there are decisions that are made that sort of make this kind of not quite typical. I think like that, Charlize Theron is really kind of the main character and she's so badass and does it really well.
Yeah.
I
She
think
did a great
that-
job.
that really makes the movie less kind of like some kind of male fantasy fest, because she's being a really, I don't know, tough girl, but not just being Miss Sexy or anything else or that really. But I don't know. So I think that really sort of like grounded things really well. I thought, and you're going to disagree with me, I guess, but I really thought
Who's
was
you?
really good. Denny.
Okay.
I thought Nux was awesome. He was really like good as crazy guy. Even I think he to be the character he was and be likable, like even towards the beginning, was really impressive. And so I thought that was impressive.
Wait, you think I'm going to go against that point of view?
Oh, well, no, I thought you said that was your least favorite part.
No, my least favorite part is the Nick Holt character and one of the 5 females like make eyes at each other or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's a little weird that she just warms up to him so quickly, as she finds him in the cab and she's like, I like you. I'm going to stroke your back.
Your nice shiny bald, shiny and chrome head. So shiny.
I like you.
So
You
chrome.
seem like a normal
You sliced
thing.
up your lips. Let me touch them.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me caress your chapped lips.
Yeah. So that was a little strange, but I thought he was great as his character was really great. Like I really was rooting for the guy, and
Agreed.
his end was awesome, and I think he sold that sort of like, even in the beginning when he's like yelling about the warrior's death and stuff, he sold it so well that it made it, I don't know. I think it's just really impressive to pull that off, to be like kind of charismatic in that crazy role that he's in.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. So there you got Charlize and you've got him really good. And Max was okay. He didn't have a lot to do. He's amazing. I mean, we
he
loved
looked
him.
the role.
Tom Hardy. Yeah, well, he looked a little too pretty though too. He looked like well-fed and puffy-lipped,
for a guy that hasn't had water or food.
I know. So
yeah.
But again, comic book, and the females, like, they were all supermodels. Some of them literally were runway models with very well done makeup. Which again, you're part of the comic book, so anything goes, I guess. But it's still it didn't sort of fit the rest of the dirtiness of the world. But whatever.
It didn't bother me too much. And
no, you're like, hey, it's just nice.
not saying something.
They were also sealed in a vault. So
Yeah. So that was kind of the idea, that they're these pristine objects.
And they're just so pretty. Even if you stick their head in the mud, they're still going to be good looking.
I mean, they were pretty.
Yeah, they were. I mean, I don't, Rosie in particular, she's not an actress.
Rosie?
I mean, I don't think she's the blonde one.
Oh, the pregnant
that was
one?
Also in
she's
one
the
of
pregnant one, right?
Yeah, she was also in Transformers.
Ooh, another
too,
classic.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know.
She was Megan Fox's replacement. Good for her.
Yeah. So, anyway, the action sequences were flat out amazing. Totally agree with that. There's some sequences where the guys are flying through the air and there are explosions towards one of the first sequences where there's like the flares are going off and when he's like saying what a lovely day this is.
Oh, the hurricane part?
That sequence is amazing, where the bodies are flying and explosions and wow, it's just it's really impressive. So yeah, I thought it was all really good. I thought I can ding it here or there, but the music and the sound was really good.
I want to hear some dings though.
Wackiness. Oh, there's just small stuff, really. I mean, I for some reason I felt like the model women sort of took me out of things. It's like I didn't really that didn't seem to fit everything else. But I know it's like kind of the eye candy part. That's what it felt like it was about.
Well, there were sex objects. I mean, that's all.
Yeah, I know, but it was also like it felt like they were sex objects for the viewer as well, right?
Well, how are you gonna make a sex object as a plot point and not make them sexy?
I know, but it just for some reason it just didn't seem to fit the rest of the movie.
I mean, half of them didn't do shit the whole time, but bitch.
But just or look pretty or pout. I don't know. But anyway, I thought the old ladies were so awesome. I thought that was also just another great addition.
Yeah.
These like hardened grandmas kind of. And I thought that was they all played their parts really well too, amazingly well. Like which isn't necessarily easy to do. Like they're showing this sort of like wry, grim sense of the world, but they haven't given up hope either. They're fighters. And each of them like did an amazing job doing that. I think, I don't know, we didn't see the guy who says he's Justice and he's blinded and we don't see Mad Max kill him, right?
He dies.
Explodes, right?
Yeah. He explodes almost like in the background.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't see, because I get, you see him walking off, Max walks off with the tank and I guess you don't see the actual act of it.
Well, no,
guess.
because isn't that tank thing? You don't see that, but he dies on screen before that, right?
Oh,
No,
does he?
he gets shot and he gets blinded. Furiosa
Right.
shoots like the spotlight, and then I think what happens is they plant explosives by the war rig, and then they winch it to the tree, and they're pulling away, and then there's like an explosion.
Oh, but I
shortly
thought
after.
Max walks off into the distance though, and then he comes back, and I assume
Yeah.
that's when that guy dies. But I don't think we see him die.
Uh,
Right?
Yeah,
Or did I
yeah.
get confused during that? That was a sequence that confused me. I was like, I'm sure we were going to see the guy die, right?
Yeah, it's weird
It
how
was
they
gonna
don't
be
tell
a
you
big
what
deal.
happens. Like everything else is very linear in terms of the action and stuff, and that one's kind of
Right.
like use your imagination. What happens over there? Who the
Right.
fuck knows?
Maybe they wanted that scene where Max is coming back out of the smoke because that's a very road warrior kind of scene.
Yeah, it looks good.
Maybe it was like that's what they wanted that to be the focus there, not that other guy dying. I don't know.
Yeah, but it
Um,
was weird because they built that guy up all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Like, he shows
exactly.
up,
Yeah,
then
he had-
he's the only one to give chase because he's the only one whose tank can get out of the mud.
and then he's blinded, and then he's holding he's like I am justice, holding two
Yeah.
guns, like parodying the whole
So
justice figure.
Cool. So cool.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
can't we see him die? I'm sad.
That scene with him was a huge like Sin City vibe thing when he
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
"I am justice."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely watching in black and white. When the CG, in the colored version, you can't really tell the sky box or whatever you call it in movies. In video games, it's a skybox, right? But they faked a
Right.
lot of the skies in this movie, and you can't tell in the
Mhm.
colored. At least I couldn't. But in the black and white, you kind of can.
Oh, really?
Weird.
Does it come
Yeah.
through more?
Yeah, I think that you can kind of see the outline of the people a little more, and it doesn't look
Huh.
as natural. At least, at the
Interesting.
very least, for that shot where he's got the blindfold on and he's firing the two guns driving, it looks like Sin City, like Tim's saying. Like it
Right,
looks like a green
which is that
screen.
kind of comic book look where you do sort of have the characters really stand out from the background.
Right. And it is
Yeah.
weird because the rest of the movie is like shot on location with all this real shit, and none of it looks green screened at all.
No.
So
I-
kind of, you know,
all the yeah. Other than
You dying there,
goes my
buddy?
voice. I'm dying. I'll be back in a minute. Hang on. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say. I like how the story wrapped up. I thought like all of that was good.
why didn't Max
and-
stay?
Because he's the road
Yeah, why
warrior,
did he
man.
walk away? Because
That's his vibe, man.
I was thinking
It's
maybe
on-
it's
it's
because
on
like
his
he was
business
finally
card,
free,
yeah.
and he's like, I'm not gonna hang out here for this. I'm out.
After watching all the other ones, it's like that's just what he does. Every movie's just like a story of him meeting
Irish
like a
exiting.
settlement. Yeah, exactly. He shows up and people are like, "We don't want you here, psych. We need your help super bad." And then he fixes all their problems, and then
And
he's
then
like, "All right, I'm
leaves.
out of here."
It's like, that's right. Peace.
I'm interested in Tim having seen the other ones freshly. Does that
Oh.
take away from Mad Max feeling like it's like just redoing a lot of stuff that was done before?
Not necessarily, but I did kind of like one thing I picked up through reading up on stuff because I had a lot of questions after blasting through all of them, and it was like learning that it's almost like James Bond, where it's like everything's just kind of its own story. I mean, excluding the newer Bonds where they are like continuing a story movie to movie. But you know, the older ones where it's like a different actor, different
Right.
story, like
Yeah.
everything's different because there's weird stuff about Fury Road. Like he starts off with that Interceptor car, which is like the Mad Max car, but that thing gets blown up in like Road Warrior and isn't
really?
in Thunderdome.
and he doesn't
Yeah,
get it
it's-
back at the end of this one. So, like, which one's first?
It was because I was kind of wondering too. Like, yeah, I didn't know like if the people that he was all traumatized about, if they were from a previous movie or not.
First movie, he has a young son
Not a
and
daughter.
his wife.
Okay.
Yeah, so
well,
that's
in
another.
Road Warrior, doesn't his wife get like raped or something like that and killed?
They in the first one in Mad Max they get killed.
Sorry, derailed the train of thought.
Yeah, no, I had
That's a
something
dark
very
place, Denny.
yeah, I had something very profound to say, and you threw that right out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was I talking about? Mad Max?
that's it.
Three
James
Mad
What
Bond.
Maxes.
movie are we watching?
We're talking about James Bond, right? Yes, I
Talking
thought
about-
Spectre
yeah,
was
or
okay.
does Fury Road still feel original given that you saw the other three movies now?
It's kind of a different take. I mean, of course, there's the huge difference of there being a different actor playing him, but the production was a lot smoother in Fury Road than the older ones, I guess for obvious reasons. But
Yeah.
the old ones do a lot of sped up action, which Fury Road did just like a couple of times. but the older movies do this like Benny Hill sped up thing, which
Oh.
almost looks like
And
kind
it's
of comical.
super obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they probably didn't have the budget or the techniques to do the stunts the way they wanted. At
They're
speed.
probably driving like 6 miles an hour and then sped it up, you know?
Well, this movie, actually, they either sped up or slow down the vast majority of the movie's footage.
Yeah. What did
That's
you guys
true.
think of that? I thought that on one hand I could think it's weird, but I actually liked it. It gave like I know the director like really like did this sort of by hand or something. Like he like went through the whole film and adjusted the frame rate as he wanted. And there are parts where it makes it's like a zombie movie sort of where you get this sort of like exaggerated fast movement, and it's not really the action. He doesn't do that with the action. He does the speed ups on characters. It seems where they're talking fast or they're just like jerky. They're like moving around in a jerky way.
There's even the shot like when Furiosa tries to shoot Max in the head, but the gun doesn't work, and Max does a very like Sam Raimi movies, the cartoonish type of action where he like does a very exaggerated like whoa type of like like very cartoony,
zooming in on everything.
Yeah, and it's good. It works because it works. Like everything moves so quickly, you barely have time to even like criticize anything in the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I really noticed it was when he was showing the War Boys, I think, where he would do the speed up jerkiness, and it gave you the sense of their drug state, their like hyperactive.
Yeah, like that
cocaine
adrenaline
kind of
fueled
state.
thing. Yeah.
I think it really made that come across in their like movements and stuff by speeding up the frames.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole one of the first scenes where Max gets captured and then it's like running away through
Yeah,
the
it's like a
fort.
zombie
It's
movie, right?
Yeah. It's like they cut out frames or something to give it that jumpy vibe.
And yeah, normally I would be really annoyed by that, but he pulled it off. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and how about Tom Hardy's physical act? I mean, so it's like actual acting, whatever you want to call it. The non-physical part was, acceptable. Like there wasn't much to do there. I guess
There was not exactly.
But
I don't know what he
physical
could have done.
stuff was amazing. Like he did a lot of his own stunts and stuff like that. The scene where he's, climbing kind of monkey bar style and has people hanging off his legs. That was real. The scene where he's like in the cage and they're tasing him to get him down and he flips down backwards. Like I would fucking break my back doing that shit,
I had that same thought watching that today.
Yeah. The scene where he's on that the cat, the little acrobat sticks in the cars.
Yeah.
That amazing shot where the truck's blowing up and he's like going from left to right across the screen on one of those things. He was on that, it's pretty awesome.
Him doing this, and then after his role in The Revenant, now he's becoming one of those guys who's like, all right, I'll probably see whatever this guy's in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's
he's
definitely
amazing.
one of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
He was in Bronson. What else is he in? The Dark Knight Rises. He was good in that.
Yeah, he was Bane.
Yeah. He was born in the wasteland.
It talks like Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
But that wasn't his voice, though. I think it was a different voice.
What?
Actually.
I think it was him.
Oh, yeah. He
Really?
was the Jewish guy in Peaky Blinders, too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, do you know who what Nux is also well known for? The Nicholas Hoult?
Dating Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh,
No.
really?
Yeah.
Good for him,
He
though.
used
That's
to.
good for him.
Yeah.
Well, she found out he was going to Valhalla, and she's like, "Can I get a ride?" I mean,
No, he was in that Jack and the Beanstalk movie that bombed, so maybe that was the last straw.
Nope.
That
that
zombie
might have been
movie.
the end of it.
Oh, he was in that
Yeah.
MTV show about sex.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the
We're
first
going
thing
to
he
have
was
to be
in, I
more
think.
specific.
yeah, which one?
It was that really popular one that was in the UK, and then it came to the United States. Skins.
Oh, Skins.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I never
no
saw
idea.
that.
Pretty good show.
Nice.
Anyway, though, he was the boy in About a Boy.
Oh, he was the boy. He played
Yeah.
boy. Very specific, John. Very specific.
That's right.
That's
He
certainly
played
what that
boy.
movie was about.
He played boy, and what
That's
about
right.
boy?
'Cause He was so good. I was like, what else has he been in? He really hasn't been in a ton because he's so damn young.
Hey, Nick, you were good as boy.
Hey, you did boy, pretty good boy. Thanks, boy.
I guess it was Tom Hardy's voice as Bane. I was just looking that up.
Of
Sorry.
course it was.
Of course. Oh, Inception. Shit.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he was in Inception.
So when you say that this movie is kind of fantastical, I don't think so. I think this movie very much could happen.
Oh yeah, bunch of guys riding around with
Why not?
on what? Something in their blood that makes them nuts and able to withstand pain. Yeah, sure.
We have crazy shit that is,
Yeah, we call that methamphetamine, but those guys walk around in circles and scratch themselves to death. Okay, so I don't think any of this is happening in real life.
They just all be in a corner. Come on, let's go get them.
Hey,
guys.
we're gonna do it, man.
Guys.
But like tomorrow, after the next few hits, man. Yeah,
We're all going that way. We're all that direction.
Yeah, sure.
You don't think that like there's some kind of think about cults, right? This guy he has water. If you live in the desert, you control water. You can control what everybody thinks. You can make people think you're God.
But there's
until
a
they walk and
fantastical
find
part of
something
it.
that's not in the desert and like gets water and like.
If you wanted a realistic post-apocalyptic, go watch The Road or. And there's
disagree. Just because it's sad and it's based more in reality doesn't mean that this kind of shit. I mean, it is over the
that
top.
whole based on reality thing is what I thought we were talking about.
Yeah, but okay. So yes, this could happen. That's all I'm saying. That's more likely. This is still possible.
I don't see it.
It feels like a comic book, which is fine. I don't expect comic books to happen. You kind of think of like it falls in line with more of a Batman kind of thing where you have fantastical things happening. And I guess you could argue that, you could have super villains or something like that, or a character like Batman. But that's the part of the fun of it is that it doesn't really care about trying to be too realistic. It's like, we're going to have drums playing. We're going to have this guy playing guitar.
But we have people that walk into war with drums and like pipes and shit. Like,
sure,
it's the same thing.
I know. It's the same thing to some extent, but it's just taken to a ridiculous extreme,
right? Which
is fun. I that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
I think that it's just they're like, fuck it, we're gonna. It's almost like they're all having a real good time, kind of. Even though they're the bad guys and whatnot, you're just seeing this sort of like I don't know. It's like carefree fun to just sort of like let's just make everything fantastic. And
I think you're being distracted with the amount of pure imagination put into this movie. It borders on either science fiction or fantasy level just because of the amount of unique shit that doesn't actually exist is like crammed into the movie without it lingering on any specific thing. Like it doesn't even explain Furiosa's arm. It's just in the movie, which is awesome. Right. There's like, 100. Apparently, there's 140 different cars. They're all unique. They're all decked out.
They're all like designed.
All the bad guys have different diseases. They have different traits. They don't explain any of it. So, I mean, I don't know. It has a lot of creativity.
I would agree with you. It's not like there's anything supernatural here. I mean, all this stuff is in the realm of possibility to some extent. I mean, I think that the amount, TC's point, like the amount of organization and what these people can do despite being so crazy messed up is kind of, that's a little fantastical if they were all like drug addicts or whatnot. It would be.
So this drug addict thing, are they on drugs?
Well, they're on the blood or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or the chrome stuff they spray in their face.
But the chrome is just spray paint.
No, I thought that was like, I thought that was something that was some kind of extra thing that you do right before you're going to die.
So you do that,
basically.
But it does. I mean, it doesn't do anything. All it is like a fake. It's like what's in religion, like eat the blood of the body of Christ or whatever. It's like a symbolic thing. Yeah, because I think
interesting.
Because so they always say like the best thing you can be in this movie is shiny and chrome, right? So shiny, so chrome.
Right. So and you paint yourself.
Right. And everybody's dirty and all the cars are dirty and the cars are part of the world and shiny and chrome is a new car. So if you shine yourself up, shiny and chrome, you become like new, like a brand new car and you're ready to go to the afterlife or whatever.
Ah, you're right.
So I think it's just silver. I think it's just silver spray paint.
Right. It's just silver spray paint. You're right.
I think I had read that there's supposed to be some sort of narcotic element to it, but
that's what I assumed. Yeah, I don't. It was to make them like berserk warriors.
Yeah, but I don't have a source for that because I watched all the movies. Leave me alone,
So
my brain is mush.
Well put.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's not necessarily. And again, it's like you said. Some of these things just aren't explained.
Yeah, which is the best part, I think. I love it when these movies don't explain things.
Again, I like the way they tried to give the War Boys had that warrior mentality and this sort of like dying in battle kind of thing. I think they sold that really well. It was really kind of neat the way they did that.
That's how it's the same kind of attitude that people like real humans have going into battle, dying valiantly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's not far-fetched, And people say like, before they die, they, pray to their God or whatever, it's the same thing.
Oh yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's too fantastical. We got this fat guy who's disgusting, is holding on power. He's got like all this milk up in his freaking tower. Very realistic.
What?
You don't have a milk farm in your house?
I was like,
TC?
I'm playing that back in my head. I'm like,
I
none
don't
of
know why
that
this
sounds
is a sore point
realistic.
for you, Denny. I mean, if you're hoping this sort of thing comes to pass with the apocalypse, that's fine.
So did you guys pick up on the fact that the giant guy, I forget what his name is, he's really buff, he's got a machine gun, he's huge, he's probably the biggest guy in the movie.
Yeah, the one that was, I had a baby brother.
Right.
Yeah, that
Perfect
guy,
in
yeah.
every way.
He was the son of Immortan Joe.
Who?
Yeah, I think like
The
a
main
bunch
bad
of
guy.
them.
Oh, yeah. I know,
Yeah.
Oh, he was? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Tim, did you pick up on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's by evidence by that scene that like TC just referenced where he says, I had a baby brother, it's
Right.
Yeah, Joe impregnates the wives and then whatever they birth is a sibling to, I mean, are all the war boys like his?
I don't think so, right? So I was
That'd just
confused.
be
My question there is,
busy
so
dude.
obviously the little person has birth defects and he can't, like Immortan Joe is the main bad guy is trying to make a perfect quote unquote heir to his legacy.
Yeah.
And the little person guy, obviously not the best choice, but that other guy was freaking
Obviously.
huge. Why isn't he a good candidate or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's dumb as dirt.
Really?
They're like, we don't need another one of him.
Yeah.
Nobody needs. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe like a smart and big would be better.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We got one small one really fucking stupid one. We gotta start fresh here. Yeah.
Why weren't all of the girls pregnant?
Well, they might have been
Good
at
point,
varying
right?
levels,
Like, if you're gonna-
but
if you're
varying
gonna,
stages.
Yeah, if you're gonna try this, you might as well,
Yeah.
Well, I think
increase
they
your
were.
odds.
They possibly were at varying stages of pregnancy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like-
Is there like a Children of Men situation going on where it's like harder because of all the dust gets in there, all the, components? The little bits, components.
Maybe. We're gonna call components.
Don't know, Denny.
Components. Anyone want to
Right,
react
you're
to that?
on that one.
To some degree, I think the pregnancy stuff it's referenced in comics that came out before Fury Road. I didn't read them, but I, of course, Wikipedia'd them.
Oh.
It's doing my due diligence. But there's 3 comic books that came out, or 4, I guess, before Fury Road. And one of them is just about Nux and Immortan Joe.
Nux is a Nick Holt character, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The second one is just about Furiosa. And the third one, which I guess is 2 issues, is about what happens to Max between Thunderdome and Fury Road.
Huh.
So the first one with Nux and Joe talks about Joe taking over that citadel. The Furiosa one takes place right before Fury Road, like her meeting the wives and deciding to get them out of there. The one about Max takes place between the last movie and this one.
Huh. And those are all written and drawn by George Miller?
Possibly.
Not George Miller, the other guy.
The guy who does the
guy who co-wrote the screenplay.
Created by George Miller, Nico Lathorius, and Mark Sexton.
Interesting. Brendan McCarthy is the guy who has the writing credit for Mad Max.
Yeah. He's the comic book guy who did a lot of the design work, but so maybe.
Oh, Nick Lathorius is on here too. Brian Kennedy. Brian.
So that could explain if that may go into more detail about which wives are or aren't pregnant, and why or why not.
Little backstory.
Again, I'm just going with what Wikipedia gave me.
Yeah. So they have milk. Do you think they ever dump the milk down the water holes?
What?
They dump the water down under the people. Do you think they ever dump milk down?
The milk was for the war boys, I'm sure.
And then there's some of it in the truck too, the war rig.
Right.
Yeah, so the war rig is one. So there's two tanks, right? One very large one, which seems to contain both milk and water somehow.
Yeah.
And then the back
very
one is a
confused.
ball of oil, right? Or ball of gasoline.
Or gas that they
gas.
leave for the rock people or whatever.
Yeah, no idea exactly what was all. I didn't quite understand the whole deal and all of that. I didn't
Let's talk about that.
Understand
Did any of you get what the plan there was?
What was the arrangement that Furiosa had made? I guess that she was going to bring the truck and they were going to do what for her?
Let her pass.
Yeah, they gave her safe passage, but she said
okay.
that, I guess she originally told them there would be like 2 or 3 vehicles, and instead there's like 3 war parties following her.
Oh, okay.
And
So
then
that
they're
was
going to
that was
kill
the
her
deal
because
is
of
they
it?
were gonna block the passage, right? They could.
Yeah, they blew up that like ridge to block the only little throughway.
Ooh.
I'm curious as to how she made that plan. Like, how did she meet up with the rock people is what I'm just going to call them from now on.
Yeah, and
Right, yeah.
so I wrote down that this movie's plot would be totally different if they still had radio technology.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, they would be able to call back, they wouldn't have to look and be like, what's going on over there? They'd just be like,
But
hey, what's
maybe
happening?
She had contacts. Like she was making the runs to Gastown or whatever the hell it's called. It was Gastown, right? Like they would take water to Gastown in exchange for gas, which is what you get at Gastown. I would guess.
And you go to Bullet Farm and you get gas there, too, actually. It's gas everywhere.
Right. So maybe there were like people there. She had contacts as she was doing these runs back and forth to where she could kind of set this up. I don't know. It's not like she could go run off over there without everybody noticing.
Yeah, the little dude with the telescope would be all over that.
Yeah. It's what he does, man. He doesn't have a lot else to do, probably.
Can't really go anywhere.
Can you point me in another direction? It's nothing going on out there today. How did all those people in the town survive if they only got water every once in a while? Fantasy elements.
They drank gas the rest of the time.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, guzzolene, right? Because you drink it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Womp womp.
That's two bad puns we got going.
Oh, this is good. I'm on fire, guys.
They come in threes, so just brace yourselves.
Shit.
No, I don't know. Yeah, again, just fantasy. I think if you were to try to pick apart the story, you might get sort of annoyed.
Sorry, what was that, John? What did you say there? Did you say what was that?
What?
Just fantasy, I think.
Yeah. What's that word?
Just
No, damn it, this could happen. This could happen.
Right.
All right, so speaking of that, here's a good little thing I thought of. So you got the little person and you got the giant jacked guy as the sons of Immortan Joe, right? They seem, at least the jacked guy, seem to be approximately about the same age as Mad Max. Would you not agree?
I suppose.
Yes. Where are you going with this, Denny?
They were born under the kids were born under the circumstances of the dad being all fucked up and impregnating all these people and having this weird little castle in the sky in the desert. But Mad Max, through his stories, had lived in a world before the end of the world.
Yeah.
So was
I see what you mean.
So was that guy's little city in the desert? Did that exist before the oil wars and the water wars?
Coming crashing down.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. No. Again, I think like it's, and it's more to Tim's point about this kind of being like, it's just another chapter, and you just kind of Max is kind of ageless, sort of,
Yeah.
He's a guy with his backstory, and he just wanders in, and then stuff happens. And then he wanders out.
Yeah, in those comics, Joe was a war veteran before the collapse of society, so that at least somewhat explains how he's able to like step in and probably explains all the little like military badges on his clear plastic body armor with like fake drawn on abs.
Right. Yeah, I was wondering about those. Those were, some of them looked kind of interesting.
Yeah, he looked real good in that body armor.
Yeah,
the fake abs make it.
They have some kind of accelerated aging stuff for the kids. How about that?
Oh, maybe.
It's inhaling all that chrome paint.
Yeah. Oh, in terms of the blood bags with the drugs too, I thought that the blood bags were because all of the war boys were all inbred or however they were manufactured gave them like the tumors and shit and the night terrors and like all these defects. So the blood, they needed blood because they were all dying, kind of.
I always assume like radiation or something like that.
Or that, yeah, that could be radiation from. I assume you think they're like bombs went off somewhere and that's why it's all desert everywhere.
Yeah, that's usually part of our general apocalypse scenarios these days.
Yeah, that's true.
Boilerplate apocalypse stuff.
Yeah. Standard. I thought it was funny when Mad Max was biting Nux's fingers off. He didn't wake up, but then a little splash of water on his face woke him up.
I wrote that down. Like, yeah, he tries to cut the chain, and then it doesn't work. And then I was like, is he biting that dude's finger?
Yeah, didn't work.
That is like one of the notes I wrote down. Yeah.
Harder than it looks. I bet. I don't know. Do you guys think you could bite someone's finger off in a life or death situation?
No.
Maybe.
I bet you could.
I don't know, man.
The question is, would you want to live with yourself afterwards?
Chicken.
It's just really hard, raw, warm chicken.
Chicken.
Let's see. All right. So I'm going to go through some
Yeah,
of my
well,
plot
let's see.
points.
I mean, is there any other kind of general comments anybody has about the films at this point, or stuff that we missed?
I mean, I could just start at the first movie and just talk for like 3 hours.
Jesus Christ.
I told Denny, I was like, we're gonna have to do a
Spare me.
mini series just on the Max films
Yeah.
now that I've watched all.
So, Tim,
Nice.
did you like the other Max films?
It was definitely cool to see. I mean, yeah, I guess I'll just say I like them.
Yeah.
But
A simple yes would suffice.
Yeah.
I thought the first one was really interesting to see because the image of Mad Max as someone who hadn't seen anything other than Fury Road was just like, it's all desert and cars, like
Yeah.
that is Mad Max. And in the first movie, like he lives in a house, society hasn't completely gone to shit yet.
Oh.
Like he lives in a house by the beach and like
Oh, yeah.
he has a job. He's a police officer and stuff, which it gets referenced in Fury Road even, I think. But it's like things are kind of okay. Like his wife and his kid go out for ice cream and stuff.
Huh.
So seeing
get
that
ice
one
cream?
was- yeah, they have ice cream in the brink of the apocalypse.
Why wouldn't they?
Priorities,
Yeah, exactly. And also the little tidbit, did you guys know that the guy who plays Immortan Joe also played the villain in the first Mad Max?
Really?
Oh, no, wow.
Yeah, same actor, but different
He got fatter.
character.
I
too.
assume.
Yeah, and older.
Yeah. He was awesome as Immortan Joe, I thought.
Yeah.
Assuming that was his voice, too. I'm not sure if it was.
That's kind of awesome. So Mad Max was 79. It was just kind of the Australian guy movie that came out of nowhere and became kind of a big hit, right? And with Mel Gibson, that was kind of was that his breakout role too?
I
It
think
was.
so.
Or
He's
first role even?
Yeah, he's super young in that first one.
It's kind of amazing to think of that as like starting a lot of things where probably really started Miller's career as well to some extent.
Yeah. And I think it probably boosted indie movies, too, because the first one was very, very low budget.
Was it good?
And it shows. I don't know, man.
I was going to say that.
I don't know if it's good. I think, TC, I don't think you would like it.
Oh, I'm sure I wouldn't like it.
Yeah. If the only thing you liked about this was the production, it doesn't
Then yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
It looks like complete
It's like
crap.
going back to Terminator, but worse.
Yeah, way worse than Terminator, yeah.
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 But
I don't know
it
if
is
we
cool,
had,
though.
that might have been really fresh at the time because there might not have been a lot of post-apocalyptic movies, or right now, like it seems like it's everywhere, whether it's zombies or games or movies, like post-apocalyptic scenarios are kind of
so hot right
everywhere. Yeah.
So hot right now.
now. So hot. What do you guys think about the bog people? What's going on there?
I don't know. Stilt Walker guys?
That used
Yeah,
to
I
be
didn't
the
know
green
what-
place, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Was that what that was?
Yeah, they said like you should have drove through it, and then they were like, "Oh, the weird people in the bog," I guess. But
Yeah.
like, because the
Mm.
soil went poison, but like the people still live there. How the hell are they living there if like the water
They're all
is
mutants
poisoned?
again, radiation again.
Yeah, and you only see them in like that one shot,
Right.
right?
So they have little sports bottles full of gasoline, right? When they hop on the roofs of the car.
Or nitrous or something. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's like gas. Is it just straight
I don't know.
gasoline? I don't know.
I don't know either, but whatever it is, they spit it into like that little hole and makes the
Or
car go
nitrous is
faster.
a gas, so I guess. Anyway.
Liquid nitrous? I don't know. But whatever they have, it's in little squirt bottles. But instead of just squirting it into the thing, they squirt it into their mouths and spit it into the thing.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Well, they didn't have like actual squirt bottles. They just had bottles. So you couldn't like just kind of try to slosh it in there. So you had to have some kind of mechanism to squirt it in.
Well, they
So that's
had
why-
that. If you looked at one of the guys had two bottles and he was
They had an
squirting
actual
both.
squirt bottle?
Yeah, he was squirting both into his mouth, spitting it in, and then squirting as he was spitting, and then squirting it back
Oh.
into his mouth.
I don't know. Maybe it was just because then that's just more of a war boy thing to do.
It just makes you badass because you're all just
Yeah.
chugging gasoline.
That probably is the explanation.
It probably is because they're going to die anyway. So
I
screw
think
it.
he saw that the other guy had to do it like with his mouth. So he's like, I can do that too.
Yeah,
One
well,
up 'em.
yeah, Nux like sucked it out of a gas canister, but yeah, the
Yeah.
other guy had like his little like jogging bottle.
Yeah. It's a little fanny pack.
It fits right into that
pops on
bike
it.
holster.
I brought my Nalgene, you guys.
What a
Nice.
nerd. The old woman dies by a chainsaw?
But it doesn't show like where it
The,
Right,
the one that
hit
was in
her.
the, yeah. You don't really see what happens to her. You just see her like sitting there peacefully for a while. Yeah, that was a weird cut. I didn't quite understand.
Are we to assume that like that her clothing is covering it, or she was stabbed in the back or something? And like, I don't know.
Yeah, that one I didn't get that either. I was like, how did she get? I know the way it was all set up. It's like, oh, she's gonna be dead now, but I still wasn't quite clear what had happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she kind of like tugs at her scarf as she like gets back into the seat in the truck, but yeah, you don't see like blood spewing out of her neck or anything.
Right. Yeah, okay. I just glad I didn't miss anything there. Why wasn't Furiosa a breeder?
That's a good point. Yeah, I
Arm
know.
That's a
defects.
good question.
Yeah, so I was thinking arm defect. That could have been one, right?
Why? You don't inherit those
Why would
things.
that
unless
Unless she was born with it.
if she's born with it and it's like they think she's a mutant already.
So back to
bad
radiation.
genes.
Yeah, maybe.
Or she was just too badass.
Maybe she proved herself to be too useful as a driver or something.
Well, all right, so let's go around. What's the worst CG in the movie? To your own personal opinion.
When there's those motorbikes or fucking dirt bikes.
Dirt bikes?
He like jumps off a rock and goes over the truck, and you can clearly see the set extension. But
Oh,
that was the
really?
only one I really know. Yeah, like bad. Like, it was like the one shot where I really noticed it. I was like,
Wait,
Jesus Christ.
so what does that look like? Well, I'm not sure exactly.
It just looked like they were real rocks, like they were shooting in a real place, and then they like drew in rocks to make it look like, so whatever he went off of as a jump, like they drew these rocks in front of whatever the jump was that they shot of, and like you could see it bad. And I don't know if it's my new TV or what, but I'd noticed it, and that was like the only one I really noticed. Though that's the thing, out of all those other shots. So
because I didn't notice that at all. Plus, I was going to say that they really did that stunt, which was like I watched
it looked like it, but it looked like they covered up whatever the jump was.
There was a green
with
jump.
Fake,
yeah,
with fake rocks. So.
Yeah.
But what about you guys?
John?
Yeah, I don't think anything really stood out to me. I didn't really like. Yeah.
Think about it, Tim. What would you say if you have any?
Yeah, it's a tough call. Again, having just watched the black and white one, is all the CGI became very noticeable, but gave it a different like vibe. So it wasn't atrocious, you know?
Yeah. I thought some of the CG looked better. Like I think the lizard in the beginning in the colored version looks pretty fake, but in the black and white, it looks pretty good. Same with the hurricane stuff in the colored, when like the car is going up the side of the hurricane, that looks pretty CG in the colored, but in the black and white, it looks pretty good. But then there's other stuff that looks worse in the black and white. I don't know. But the one that I thought looked the worst, and both, was when the truck slides into that little archway and the guitar flies towards the camera and then bounces back.
Oh, yeah.
And then the wheel comes at the camera.
Well, that just was fun, though. I mean, that was. I guess on one hand you could say it was fake, but again,
yeah. But when it slaps back, it looks pretty lame.
Yeah, it does. And you know why they did that too? Because this movie was made for 3D, and I saw it in 3D in theaters, and that was like hey, check out the 3D effect.
Hey, look at all this stuff coming.
Hey, have you been trying to be avoiding vomit? Well, check this one out.
I don't know. I mean, it did look kind of silly, but it also was just kind of fun at that point. Again, I know maybe because you're seeing this as a realistic drama, you're going, that couldn't happen.
Yeah. Everything else is spot on. That wheel wasn't real though. That's about it.
But no, you're totally right in that point.
Wheels don't float like that. They don't float like that.
The guitar's elasticity was a little too high.
They don't.
That was Nux's death, so I
Read a
wanted that to
physics
be
book,
like
bro.
really celebrated. Like I wanted it to be really cool at the end. So I was like, steering wheel, guitar, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the steering wheel bothered me more than the guitar because I felt
and then
like
going through the steering wheel started to feel really cheesy. Like
it just felt like the way it flipped and moved looked totally unnatural.
Yeah.
I thought.
And it stands out when everything else looks so real throughout the rest of the movie, because it is.
Yeah.
So I have a follow up for you, Denny. When you asked and reading Reddit R movies where they're asking why Furiosa wasn't a breeder.
Is this fan theories? Is this what we're getting into?
Well, no. This is there's like references even. Like I'll send you the link later if you want. But it's like after she was stolen, it was discovered that this is from Scarlett Crawford on Reddit, and he's got references, or she has references. It was discovered that she's barren, and that's why she can't be made part of the Immortan Joe's harem of breeders. And after the discovery, she had no worth to him because she's lacking everything that would make her a woman in this society's eyes. It's possible for her to grow up among the war pups and work her way up, and it's part of why she takes the breeders away from him. It's vengeance for the way she's been discarded.
Awesome. I like that.
Cool.
Daisy's like, I don't give a fuck.
How'd you guess?
But this. I mean, the story about this movie was made, and it was like in like limbo forever. Like they started to produce it, but then 9/11 happened, and then
Damn.
That was in production for like 15 years.
Yeah, a bunch of other things happened to where like they had to move it around. It's kind of amazing. The movie came together so well. for being a reboot too. It's kind of impressive the amount of dedication that Miller and the crew must have had to make this thing work.
And he wanted to get Mel Gibson in it originally, I think.
God.
That was the thing. It was in production hell for, 15 years. or
Long
whatever
enough
Dave
for
said.
Gibson to kind of ruin his career. a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
Said some things he shouldn't have said.
Yeah, I was trying to look that up whenever they had initially started trying to make this movie, and then like looking up when his complete breakdown was. So I was trying to time it out. But
No luck.
yeah, like most other things, I just gave up halfway through.
Yeah, all right. Copy you.
Apparently, Tom Hardy met with him at like a lunch meeting or whatever, and
Oh, really?
yeah, and he gave him the okay. He's just like, yeah, you'll be fine. Make it your own. Go for it.
Ask
Yeah.
him any questions about Hardy's ancestry.
It's like, how do I wear leather like
Yeah.
you? Leather jackets. So you guys ready for trivia and shit?
So one more thing too, there is not going to be a sequel anytime
That's not
soon.
true. I have theories
Miller-
on that, John.
Do you have Miller's suing Warner Brothers?
Yes, he is. I have theories,
Right?
and I'm
You
actually
have
hopeful.
theories?
So I think
Are you hopeful?
this movie took them forever. They were in pre-production storyboarding for 2 years. If they went into production for the second movie now, they would have no time pre-production because the studio would want them to make the
Right.
movie so fast, which is what
and they've
fucked
already
up The
got
Hobbit.
scripts.
Right, they got scripts. I think and hope, this is mostly a hope, that he's suing them not only for the money, but to delay the production of the movie so he can work on it and make it possibly close to as good as this one.
Oh, wow.
Fingers crossed.
That's some nice positive thinking
Yes,
there.
I'm going to think that until...
So Miller's suing for them because Warner Brothers was supposed to give him like this $7 million bonus if the movie came under budget, and Warner Brothers is saying, nah, it was over budget.
Huh.
That's where that supposedly the lawsuit's going on is, but because otherwise they were like all lined up to.
Yeah.
And that's interesting, Denny. If that's part of his plan,
I
is to
hope.
be like, whoa, slow down.
That's a conspiracy theory. So, I mean, that's just me hoping. So don't take any, that's not coming from anywhere. But I hope that could be cool because he needs time to do it again. Like, I'm sure he's been thinking about this movie for 15 years. You can't just make a second one and have it be as good as this one in a year and a half, you know?
Yeah.
It's not
fair
possible.
enough.
Is there any word of whether or not they'll do a Furiosa sequel, prequel? I know there was a lot of talk about that.
Yeah. I think they had that was what they were going to call the sequel at one point, and then they were going to call it Mad Max: The Wastelands, but then they said no, that's not what it's going to be. And I mean, I think there was definitely they said that was one of the scripts was about Furiosa,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that too. That would be awesome.
which is great. I mean, she's a great. Yeah, it was a great character.
Charlize Theron. She's Liam Neeson? Getting into action
Neeson.
shit as she gets older. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, it's a good parallel there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be weird though to do that, I think, because watching the old ones, it is again about he meets new people every single time
Right.
and then leaves. So it would be weird to kind of just
Have returning
stay,
stuff.
yeah, be like bringing people back. Like no one gets brought back in any of the movies.
They would have to drop the Mad Max title and just call it Furiosa or something. That way it
Yeah.
wouldn't break the formula for the franchise.
Right, but then Furiosa could be like the Mad Max. Like now, after she's gone off from her colony and wandered along. Now she's the Wanderer or something. I don't know.
The Mad Max extended universe.
Yeah,
Yeah, but her world's going to be weird, right? Because she's just going to be like all the bad guys are dead. She lives in that milk tower. Everything's good.
right.
The Milk Tower.
Look, I made it to the milk tower. Leave me alone.
They've still got
Life
all
is
those
good.
bandit gangs to deal with at some point, like all around them. They got the.
I
needle
wonder how
people.
the Bullet Farm and Gastown will react to Joe being dead.
Well, their leaders are dead too. Elephant Foot Man.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's true, but I'm sure that there are people that there's some succession going on over there. So
Oh, there's going to be some civil wars for whoever gets to be the lead. That's for sure.
I feel like Bullet Town has an unfair advantage.
yeah,
Don't shoot us. We'll all
too.
catch on fire because we've doused ourselves in gasoline.
I don't know what they call them. So what do they call their hometown where Furiosa is from and the main bad guy? What do they call that?
The Citadel, I think, is just the
I
name
guess
of it.
so. So they're not Watertown, but you'd think they'd call themselves Watertown.
Barter
Yeah.
Town.
Or Milk Tower.
Milk Tower.
Yeah.
Milk tubes. What do you think? Trivia time?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
So I thought this movie was filmed in Australia.
No.
No, it was filmed in Namibia, Africa, in the desert.
What?
Namibia.
seems-
Yeah.
Guess closer. I don't know.
They started filming in another location and it rained. A freakish rainstorm happened and
That
everything
happened
turned
twice
green.
with two different locations. Yeah, but which caused the delay of the production. But this one, there was no problems beyond the freezing cold and the dust. Both of which were good, though. Everyone said it was hell filming, but it added to the look and everything.
Right, and everybody's probably uncomfortable and sweaty and stuff, and that's kind of what you want, right?
And I was surprised to hear that it was really cold in the desert when they were filming this.
Oh, that's true. So not sweaty.
So, like, the scene where the 5 girls are, like, hosing themselves down with nothing on, they were freezing.
They were freezing?
There's
No
a reason.
shit.
There's a reason why Zoe Kravitz has some very defined nipples going on in her shirt.
She's freezing. Okay?
Freezing. She's got the, yeah.
That girl's frigid.
Did I say 140 vehicles? I think I might have.
I believe somebody did.
Yeah.
They created 140.
They were all working, right?
All
too?
working.
They all ran.
All had a minimum top speed of like 120 miles an hour. All of that weird gear stuff, like the you know how the main tanker there, the War Machine, had a kind of a lock-in accelerating pedal.
Mm-hmm.
That was functional. That was real. All of the flamethrowers were real. All of the spear guns were real. Everything was real. Like all the spikes were real metal. Everything was real. They had like this giant warehouse car factory where the guy who animated the storyboards was also the designer of the style and shit like that. Designed up all these cars, drew them, built a scale for some of them. He built a 1/10 scale of the War Rig because they actually built 3 of those for the stunts because it's like the main car of the movie. But they built every single one of them, which is fucking crazy. And like they did interior design. And the making of is definitely worth it if you like that kind of stuff. Get the Blu-ray, watch it. They go through like they named every one of the cars for one. So like 140 cars. Everyone has like a unique name. They all have unique interiors, which you don't get to see a lot of the movie. Even like the main, like the elephant foot guy's car, the interior of that car is insane. And you barely get to see it. There's like so much detail in all of it. He actually has on his dashboard the front panels of all these different car companies that are supposed to represent all of the different cars he's killed.
Nice.
And they have like all this different stuff. There's a line in the movie that actually I wrote down because I was confused in what he was saying. One guy yells, "Fang it." He goes, "Fang it." And I was like, what is he saying?
You know what?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely thought he was saying
I thought he
something
was
else.
saying that.
Right.
I
He
did
wasn't.
not, yeah.
He was saying Fang, F-A-N-G space I-T, which is a made-up slang word they made up for this movie because the guy driving the car he's standing on had a stick shift that was made of teeth.
Huh.
So when he says
how are you
"fang
supposed
it,"
to know that?
right?
Oh, it means like floor it.
It means
Fang
floor.
it.
It means like grab the thing and like go into high gear.
I'm pretty sure if you were outside and you yelled that at someone, you might get jumped.
Right. Which is
this
why
point.
I spelled it very clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, just stuff like that, which you don't even pick up, but it's like in the world. I love that kind of stuff where they don't. It's like, oh, look at my car. This is a car from here. We're in the future. Look at my stick shift. I made it out of this guy's teeth. It's like, nope, just have it in there and you can make it up if you want. They kind of built an entire world around it as if these people were actually living in it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I had seen a video where George Miller said, like, there's a full backstory for that guy who plays the guitar, and you never know it because
Doof Warrior.
all he does is play. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, his whole childhood is, like, fleshed out and stuff. And,
Nice.
And that's not even in a comic book. That's just written somewhere, or at least in Miller's head.
Yeah, I
think
guess
they
it's
do.
just-
Usually when they do make characters, they usually write backstories for them because it helps craft the story together, even if it's in the most insignificant way.
Right.
So,
It worked. Not for TC, though. Not enough story.
nah.
You didn't like the Doof Warrior's backstory, TC? Come on. It was pretty
I
good.
think John might be right. I think I might have like ADD issues or something where I just can't pay attention.
You
I'm
can't
like,
be
listen,
ADD to this movie. This movie
No,
is ADD.
but
incarnate.
I'm like watching it for other things. Once I set my mind on sound and visuals, that's all I was watching. I wasn't like taking in anything else.
It is the best part of the movie. That is for damn sure.
Yeah.
Did you giggle? I mean, at least, come on. Tell me you at least laughed at your TV when the Doof Warrior shot flamethrowers out of his guitar for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Come
he
on. You
died.
kidding me?
Yeah.
I was like, what? I mean, I remembered it, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Totally real, though.
Totally real.
That's the thing.
John, they made that guitar. That thing was it was a workable guitar, and it did shoot flames out
With a
of the front.
flamethrower?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow. That was fake.
They actually went to a junkyard and collected shit they thought was cool, put it into a bunch of bins, and then just sat there creating all these different things. And then they just found places to put them on the set, in the cars, all over the place. They made 80 different steering wheels, and all the different steering wheels had different reused trash in them, which is crazy.
Nice.
I did like how the war rig gas pedal was like one of those foot measuring things when you're like buying new shoes.
Oh yeah.
I didn't notice that. That's cool.
So TC, a lot of the things, it's almost all real. Most of the CG was just to remove stuff, as you noticed that one time. But there was like safety rigging all over the place. Tops of the vehicles. The war rig had this giant scaffolding on top, and everyone was hooked up to wires and shit for all the stunts back there. They did shoot almost all of the stunts moving in the cars. So there's no trickery there at all.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So the stunt coordinator is kind of an old guy. He looked maybe like he was in his 50s, early 50s maybe. I don't want to be too mean to him. He had gray hair. He looked old, but he looked like he was in good shape. Whatever. He was a stunt coordinator, and he set up all the stunts, did all the planning and things. And then for the two biggest car stunts, he actually was in the car for them because he felt like he didn't want to put other people at risk to do them because they were the most dangerous ones.
Wow.
The first one being that first, his original Inter something or other.
The Interceptor.
Interceptor flips a bunch of times.
Yeah.
That was that's on film the most flips a car has ever done. They wanted to set the record for that, and they did.
Wow.
And so he was in the car for that. And then also he was in the car for when they drove, when Nick Holt's truck kind of falls into the thing, but then the car behind it smashes through it. And that's when like the guitar flies at you and stuff.
Yeah, like the very end.
He was he drove that too.
Interesting.
Yeah. And he's old,
Oh, wow.
so I thought that was cool. For that one explosion where the truck kind of explodes slowly from the back to the front, that looked really cool when Tom Hardy was kind of swinging in front. That was a real explosion, and it was incredibly massive. There was nobody in the truck. It was a remote-controlled truck.
Ah, wow.
So they were like they had like a little, Tyco RC car remote with this fucking giant truck in the middle of the desert with all these explosives in it. Yeah. It's crazy. Special features were really good if you guys are interested. I would recommend the behind the scenes. They had like crashing stuff too. Like they had a whole compilation of, it said in the beginning, no CG is added. Nothing is taken away. This is pure footage of the stunts. And it's like a 5-minute compilation of all the stuff. And it's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. The Doof Warrior is Iota. Does anyone know who that is?
No, I was just reading that. He's like a real musician somewhere.
Yeah, I read that too, but like, who is he?
No, I just read that same info. Like it's some musician, but I don't know who he is.
Born Sean Hape is a Australian musician. Oh, he's Australian. We don't know who he is.
Yeah.
So the last thing I'll say about trivia is this movie kind of wasn't a box office success. It did okay. And a lot of people, it is a pretty obvious fact. The reason it didn't do too good is because China would not play it. China is a huge market for movies, and especially movies like this, where they're like visually stunning and have very little dialogue and are all action. This movie would have done, they were planning on it doing really well. Apparently, China only takes in 34 Hollywood movies a year to show.
Oh yeah, China's a tough market.
Yeah. And they do that. They select it specifically because they have a lot of, we saw this in like Infernal Affairs. A lot of censorship going on there. They don't have ratings. They just do a yes or no. You can show it or you can't.
Oh, wow.
And so not only was this movie, it had like a lot of sexual content in it, had a lot of violence, and it kind of promoted anarchy from their point of view, which is something that is not what they want. So they didn't show it. It wasn't one of the 34 movies.
Wow.
So huge hit from China.
I am sure that people got their hands on it anyway.
So what they did is they made a movie called Mad Sheila, which is a blatant low-budget ripoff that looks like the shittiest version of this movie ever. You should check out a trailer.
Of town. They did not do that.
It's hilarious looking. They try not very hard at all. I'm serious. Just Google Mad Sheila. It's
Is there a trailer for it?
Yes, there is. It looks so bad.
All right, listeners, if you hear this and you're paying attention, watch the trailer and let us know what you think.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I would recommend you guys watch it too. You can see that it rips off everything from this movie and just does it in the worst imaginable way you could possibly think of.
Oh my God, look at this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is good. Oh Jesus. Oh boy, you guys, this is something. This is great. I'm sorry. This is fucking. Oh my God, this is hilarious. This is hilarious.
I got it up too. What is happening?
Oh yeah, you guys, listeners, You gotta watch this. It's a must see.
They straight up went for the same like color saturation.
I like how they got him on
everything.
like a paved road too.
Oh yeah,
They got him on a paved road. Yeah.
the explosions are straight up
called
drag
again?
and drop. It's Mad Sheila.
Mad Sheila.
The explosions are straight up
SHELIA.
like drag and drop explosion effects from After Effects or something like that.
Oh yeah, I just saw like a rocket launch or something.
Oh my god, dude. Oh yeah. Oh, that's bad. I love it. Hey, the girls are still beautiful though.
Yeah, but they look like terrible actresses.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Wait, there's acting in this one?
Yeah, maybe not.
That's fantastic. So that's what they did to replace
to
it, huh?
appease the
Wow.
demand because they heard it was good. And they're like,
Jesus.
eat this instead. And they're like, this is pretty good. Better
Yeah,
than
there's
nothing.
no way that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they control the internet, right? So
They control everything. Yeah, they control the internet,
Yeah.
movie. They get to pick which movies people see. They get to censor movies. They get to,
that'll be us soon with the net neutrality gone, right?
yeah, maybe. Well, not so much censorship of movie. Well, it could lead to that.
Good. Yeah.
Could.
Hey, if it means we can watch Mad Sheila, I'm all
I am
for it.
in. I know.
Nice.
Seriously.
There's
Well
nothing
put,
bad about
Tim.
that future.
Thank God for fucking Mad Sheila.
Yeah.
Sheila.
Speaking of current events, John, so maybe I'm betting 15 years you're going to turn around and say, sorry, Denny, you were right. This movie is extremely realistic and it's true to a T.
Oh, of course
Yeah,
I will.
yeah.
That's fine. I'll be long dead. I won't survive the apocalypse, Denny. I think you might be able to, scrounge your way through.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
you'll
kind
be
of a
one the
disgusting little
overlords.
fucker, so I think I could probably survive through
Little
it.
cockroach over there.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's gonna be
Denny.
Denny's gonna be holding your severed head, pretending you're talking. Gee, Denny, you were right about the apocalypse.
I really like
Right.
Mad Max. It's just your fucking decaying head.
God,
God, that's
awesome.
a bad fucking thought right there. Jesus.
And the apocalypse,
Darn.
I travel all the way to John just to find him, and
Yeah,
I
right.
find
Just to
his
find
dead
his
body.
head to
Yeah.
hold it so he can move the mouth to say, you were right, Denny.
Because Minnesota is going to be a paradise, with the apocalypse.
What with
Everywhere
all
else
the
is gonna be
freezing
too
cold
hot.
weather and without technology, everyone would be dead.
Because of all the global warming, it'll be hot here. It'll be like
Oh.
nice and temperate. See?
Nice. And all the snow would melt into nice clean water.
Yeah, see?
That sounds pretty good.
And there'd be tons of milk.
Tons of milk
Yeah.
coming out of giant rusty pipes. The best kind.
So,
So-
one thing you didn't touch on, Denny, is Tom Hardy's apology to George Miller. Because
I did not
guess
hear about
he didn't hear about this at
No.
Cannes. He ended up apologizing. He was like saying, this is reading it. I saw it in the IMDb trivia, but it's sourced elsewhere. And he says, there's no way I have to apologize because I got frustrated. He just didn't see the film coming together the way it was until he saw it on the screen. So he thought
Oh,
it was
yeah.
crappy.
I mean, it
Really?
could happen, right? Seeing edits,
Yeah.
seeing first run, fucking first version or something. They're on like Rev 50 by the time it comes out.
So he was like saying, because the due diligence that was required to make everything safe and so simple, what I saw was a relentless barrage of complexities simplified for this fairly linear story. I knew it was brilliant. I just didn't know how brilliant it was until I saw it.
So why is he
So
apologizing
interesting.
if he knew it was brilliant?
Well, he said, my first reaction was, oh my God, I owe George an apology for being so myopic, because I think Tom wasn't thinking he's in a good film while it was being done.
Oh. How could you
Yeah,
not,
they're-
dude? The freaking sets were incredible. Like the cars, I don't know. That's pretty funny, though.
I mean, let's be honest. They don't pay actors to think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tom
Okay.
Hardy's pretty funny, though. He was in some of the interviews. He's a goofy dude. Very
Yeah,
entertaining
no,
to
he
watch.
seems like a normal guy. for
Yeah.
sure.
No, I mean, again, it's good of him to say that publicly. At least, at least he was like saying, look, I just didn't get what you're doing. I didn't know I didn't trust
Yeah.
that it was going to come together so well.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Good on him. Good job, Hardy.
Yeah.
So, any more
That
thoughts?
kid's going places.
He is. He'll make it one of these days. Do you guys have any more thoughts on this movie?
No, it's fun. I said it.
You
Oh.
said it like 8 times.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's all
TC
good.
counts.
Yeah, it's all good. Ding, ding. I got like a thing
Fine.
over here.
Tim, any thoughts?
Uh,
Last thoughts?
No.
No?
I just have notes on every other movie.
Yeah.
Right. Best of the series, do you think?
Definitely. Yeah, the production is just on a whole other level.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, you think that, but would you put this in the top 250 movies of all time?
Me?
Yes, you.
Sure.
Sure.
Only because it's not my job to go through all these movies and talk about them.
Well, it's not our
So-
job either.
Not
We're not
ours
getting
either.
paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have anything too insightful to say of whether or not it deserves to be on the top 250, I guess.
That is fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. What about you guys, John TC?
I would.
Yeah.
John?
You would TC?
Yeah, just for the production value alone, it's incredible.
No, and you say that a lot, for the production values alone, I think because of some of the acting that's in here and some of the, I think that, it's just very, very watchable. So
I haven't seen many things like it as far as like visuals
I think as far as like a pure action movie too, like it's
and
pretty
the sound
awesome.
was just, fantastic. So.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, too, best movie ever made. Next week, we're going to watch Zootopia.
What the fuck with that? That's too much. I don't know.
We're gonna hold you to that when we get to that top 10.
He's gonna say that again sometime. We're gonna be like, I don't know, Danny.
Now, I'm being slightly hyperbolic, but I do think this is probably one of the best action movies ever made. And personally, for me, it's right up my alley. Like, it's the kind of movie that I like.
Denny sees you're a war boy at heart, aren't you?
Yeah, it's nonstop, and it's got fantastic sci-fi fantasy detail stuff.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Fantastic?
I already explained myself. It has the amount of detail.
It's real weird how he keeps doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought
you fuckers know what I'm talking about. Next week, guys, we're watching the movie that is possibly, I haven't looked into this, the highest up movie that is no longer on the top 250.
Oh, really? What happened?
Oh,
Zootopia.
Oh,
2016. Okay. It's because it's a recent one. I think it probably jumped onto the list.
Oh, yep. Yeah, you're probably
right as we froze it, it was up there.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
That's cool.
I do have a really important question, though.
Sure.
Do you think Zootopia could realistically happen?
Probably in Denny's world.
We'll let Danny.
Stay
Danny's
tuned next week for the answers to that question.
Nice.
Absolutely, Tim. This is definitely a true story.
Yeah, this is based loosely on fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give a synopsis because I don't feel like it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Go to our website, mission250filmcast.com. Email us at mission250filmcast@gmail.com. Rate, review, subscribe, whatever on iTunes. I shouldn't do this part because I don't even know what you do. Rate and subscribe on iTunes. Like and comment on Facebook and follow. And that's it on Twitter. That's it.
Good job.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Tim. Thanks a lot for being a guest.
Tim.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
for
doing the most research
thanks,
that any guest has done so far.
Is that why you piled this all on me?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the last second, you were like,
you're the dumb one for listening to me. You shouldn't have listened to me.
Oh yeah, you don't know that Denny is just a horrible taskmaster that'll run you into the ground if you're a nice person.
You just have to ignore.
He did wait till the day before we were doing this.
To be fair, you said that it was in the plan from the beginning.
Yeah, but you should know, just like everything else, I abandoned it halfway through.
I used my power
now we
to
all
get what
know.
I wanted. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I really do appreciate it. Yeah, and so I think that's it for this episode, guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Thanks, Tim.
All right. Thanks
Thanks
Tim.
for having me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Later, guys.
Good to be here.
Later.